So this is a little bit of a more unusual video because it's all about pin trading. So this is something that we started doing on our very first Disney trip, and it was actually towards the end of it. We were there for a week and we had done all of the rides that we wanted to do, all of the experiences that we wanted to do, and we kept seeing these pin boards all around the parks, and we saw people going up and putting pins on them and taking pins off. And I had done a little bit of research beforehand, and I was interested what this was and how it worked. And so we bought some pins, bought a lanyard, and started. And since then, it's been several years. We have learned so much about the pin trading experience, and that's what this video is about. We're going to teach you all about it. Hello, and let's talk about pin trading because this is something really fun and exciting that you can do in the parks. It is something that if you're not careful, you can get taken advantage of. But if you follow a couple basic steps, you can have a really cool experience. What is pin trading? Well, pin trading started in 1999, and since then it has become a huge part of not only the Disney park experience, but the Disney cruise line experience as well. It's a fun way to collect unique Disney pins, trade with cast members, talk to cast members and guests, and take home really magical souvenirs. So Disney will release thousands of different pins, and they have release dates. There's actually places that you can go online and you can find out what pins are getting released and on what days. I will tell you, our family doesn't go to the extent that some people do. It's just not for us. We really just like seeing what's on boards, seeing what people have, and going from there. But if you get really into it, just know it can be an expensive hobby and an also valuable hobby as well. So these pins are going to feature different characters, attractions, holidays, special events. And because they go back to 99, there are a lot of different momentous things on these pins. Some of them also are super rare. And later on in this video, I met up with some fellow pin traders who explain some of the really rare ones that you can find and how you can identify them as well. So how do you get started pin trading? Well, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. The first is that you can go to any of the Disney gift shops and you can purchase a lanyard. And that's going to have 4 to 5 pins on it. It's going to have that neck lanyard that you can put on. And then it's going to usually have some sort of clear pouch at the bottom if you want to put your key card or something else in there, you can do that. So then that lanyard is going to be a way that you can wear your pins, have them, and then easily trade them with whoever you're going to be trading with. So another option is that you can purchase a bulk pack of pins. Now, you can find these on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or other online sellers. Sometimes even Amazon has them. They say that they are tradable in the Disney parks. What that means is that they have Mickey Mouse logos on them, Disney logos, so that you can put them on boards, you can trade them with people, trade them with cast members. However, one thing that I want to warn about buying those bulk packs is that usually they are not authentic Disney pins. What I mean is that when these pins are made, they are made in offshore factories. And so after the set is made for Disney and sold at Disney, usually a couple years later, maybe even a year later, we start seeing some poor quality pins and poorer quality pins of those same designs from a couple years back. And those, some people can tell the difference and can see, oh, that's not an authentic pin. I'm going to actually show you some examples of that in a little bit. But what I have found is that most Disney cast members allow those to be traded anyway. So if you look on some of the boards, and I'll talk about the boards in just a minute, you'll actually see a lot of these counterfeit pins. And so it's very easy when you get started, if you're buying authentic Disney pins from a Disney store and you see other ones that you like on boards, you might be trading an actual authentic Disney pin for one of these counterfeit pins. There's a couple of thoughts about that. If you really like the design and you don't really care, then it might be fine, but you might realize that the value is not there. You're trading something of a better value for a lesser value because it is one of these older designs and then counterfeit pins. Even though they're allowed to be traded on boards, it's kind of a no-no sort of situation with real Disney pin traders. So I will say you can get bulk pins that way, but it is not recommended that you do that. It's recommended that you, if you're going to get a bunch of pins, there are multi-pin packs that you can buy at Disney stores or even online from people who maybe were pin traders and not pin traders anymore. So there's real ways that you can get good pins, and there are ways that you can get not so great pins at really low prices. One of the things that I will share is that oftentimes if you're looking at $1 to $2 per pin, those are going to be not real pins. So keep that in mind. All right, so that's how you get started pin trading, is you got to just get pins to begin with, whether it's a lanyard, whether it's multiple pins, or whether it's those multi-packs that you can buy at the store. So once you have your pin, what do you do next? It's time to start pin trading. When you are ready to pin trade, there are a couple of places you can look. First of all, a lot of the gift shops or rides will have a place where there's a Mickey Mouse shaped silhouette pin board. And you can go up there, and if there's a line, just wait your turn. Sometimes there's a line for the pins, sometimes there's a line for the checkout. And you're just going to say, hi, I'd love to pin trade with you. Remember, these are cast members, they're real people, be nice. But you can say, I want to pin trade, and they'll say, oh great, here's the board. And then you can look and see, is there a pin that you like on there? And if so, you really want to ask that cast member, can I pick it up, or do you want to pick it up? And it used to be that they wanted to be the one touching the pins. During COVID, that was really the case. Right now, most of them are like, yeah, just get what you want and make the trade. And so you can take one of your pins and trade it for one of their pins. And that's just a fun, easy way that if you see something that you like better, you can trade it. There are also going to be cast members that have a lanyard that kind of is a crossbody, and it has a rectangle pin area around their hip, and that usually is filled with pins. And not every cast member has this, but a lot of cast members do. Now, cast members get to choose if they want to pin trade or not, if they want to carry these or not. They also sometimes have some rules about it. Sometimes they'll have some pins that are turned backwards and you have to answer trivia questions. Or I had one cast member who would do rock, paper, scissors for a chance to see one of those pins. Now, you do not have to trade pins at any point. If you don't see something that you like, you can just say thank you and walk away. You are not obligated to pin trade. Keep that in mind. Most areas have the rule that you can trade up to 2 pins per cast member. So and that's per person. So for our family, we travel with 4 of us. If all 4 of us are there and present, we could possibly trade up to 8 pins if we wanted to. We don't always do that because we don't always see pins that we like, especially because we've been doing this for so many years. But if we see some really great pins that will help our collections, then we might trade several of them. One other thing that I forgot to mention, you can also pin trade in different resorts, and that might be restaurants, and that might be the front desk as well. So before we had annual passes, we would actually resort hop, and we would maybe go and find a place to park, go into the resorts and take maybe the monorail or maybe the Skyliner and just go resort to resort, and we would get to pin trade, which was a really fun way to see the resorts and also have a really cool activity that we did as well. Okay, let's talk some specifics on other places that you can pin trade. Pin trading happens all over Disney World, so here are the best spots that we have found. First of all, in the parks. These are going to be with cast members that have the lanyards and the pin boards. These are going to be at shops, attractions, and some restaurants. At Disney Springs, they actually have some places too. Pin Traders is a huge store with great selection of pins if you want to purchase them, but there are also places within that booth that you can pin trade too. There is also usually a lot of pin trading fans there, and you can trade with guests. I actually find that I've met really nice guests at the Pin Traders location at Disney Springs. As I mentioned, you can also pin trade at the resorts. Those are going to be in the shops, in the front desk, in the restaurants. So you just have to ask around. Oh, and also if it's a higher level resort, then the DVC booth will also have pin trading there too. And then there's also pin trading events. These are going to be exclusive pin trading events throughout the year, usually hosted by Disney fans, not necessarily Disney themselves, but these are wild events, usually in hotel conference areas, and you can meet neat people, you can see really cool pins, some really expensive pins too, and have awesome learning experiences if that interests you. There are going to be several pin trading boards all around. You can go to most of the shops and ask where the pin board is, and then if that doesn't work out for you, they'll be able to tell you where to go. But then there are a couple of spots in each of the parks where different guests will come, trash can, where different guests will come and trade pins, and they'll just kind of set up shop. It's going to be underneath Spaceship Earth in Epcot. In Hollywood, it is the photo area. That's where you're going to go there. Magic Kingdom, usually outside of in Frontierland, one of the shops there. That's where you're going to go. And then Animal Kingdom, I don't know that there's really a set place where people will go. So, yeah. But yeah, you can go there, trade with guests. A couple of things you want to be wary of if you are new to pin trading. A lot of times people might try to take advantage of you, especially if you have kids. So I would probably recommend avoiding those areas until you kind of know what a good pin is, or the value of a pin, or you just don't really care.
One of the things that I think really helped us when we were new to it as well, we're still not experts, but we're much better than most. One of the things that really helped us was just going to some of those places and not necessarily even trading, but just talking to the people that had all the pins and the pin traders, and we learned a lot that way.
A lot of the pin boards have different shapes and themes. A lot of them are just the Mickeys, but some there's one in the parking lot that we just saw. It is a traffic cone that they stick pins into, and then there are a few other really cool ones.
Let's talk about some tips for successful pin trading, because it's easy to get overwhelmed and to not do it right. So here are some tips that you can follow. The first, Buy that starter pack. Make sure they're real pins because you don't want to be contributing to the false pins. It's just more worth it to do it that way. Don't trade your favorite pins. So have a starter pack of pins that you may not like the characters of. Seems counterintuitive, but you're not going to want to trade away the ones that you love. So get some other ones so you can trade. Some people really like looking for hidden Mickey pins. These are ones that have a little Mickey silhouette on them. And the purpose of these are going to be from cast members. So they were released to cast members at some point, and then they were optioned into the pin trading experience. So a lot of people try to find all of the hidden Mickey pins. For us, that's how we started, but we found a lot of those were counterfeit pins, and we just went with the styles that we liked, the characters that we liked, and that's how we decided to pin trade. But some people really love hidden Mickey pins, and so you can look for those and try to complete collections based on that. The next thing is be polite and have fun. Pin traders can be really nice, and the cast members that work the boards can be extra special. But remember, everyone is a human being, so be nice, smile, it's okay to say no, and just have fun with it. And then the next one is going to be to check for fake pins. I'm going to stop this instruction in just a moment, and I'm going to show you some things that you can look for when it comes to real and fake pins. So this is not going to be everything you need to know, but it's going to give you some tips and tricks. Let's talk about some real and fake pins here. So what I've done is I've collected a couple of pins, and to be honest, some of these are even really hard for me to tell if they're real or if they're not real. And both of them might be fake, but what I want to do is I want to point out some of the things that you can really tell, and then that'll help you. So first is going to be check for the weight and the material. So when you're feeling a pin and you're actually picking it up, you can feel if something feels light as a feather, it is not going to be authentic. That is going to be a fake pin. Don't collect it. So a real pin is going to be made of high quality metal. It's going to have good weight to it. And then those fake pins are lighter. They might even feel like they're rough or cheap plastic-like feel. And so those are going to tell you that those are going to be the fake pins. You can also look at the edges. This Elsa is a really good example of that. So if you can see, do you see how there's black along with the gold? That's where it's chipped away. So a real pin is going to be smooth, well-crafted edges, no rough spots, but those fake pins, they might have rough, uneven edges, or even extra metal sticking out. So this doesn't have extra metal sticking out, but it certainly is not a smooth finish, whereas this one is definitely better. I think that that's the best example of that here. You can also inspect the colors and the paint with it. So again, let's look at the Elsas here because they're in the same lighting and you can really see the difference. Look at her skin, being that it's nice and crisp here and very pinkish here. Even her eyes look different. And one of the things that you can't tell is feeling it. You can actually feel that this enamel dips down, whereas this one is nice and flat. I can feel a little bit of the ridges, but it's all one feel instead of dipping down where that cheap enamel was poured in and then didn't settle properly. So a real pin is going to be vibrant, even colors, smooth enamel, and those fake pins, the colors might be faded, dull, or sloppy, and then there might even be overflows or missing areas. Okay, the next thing you can do is check for raised borders, and this is for screen printed pins. If it has a screen printed design, the image is going to sit flush on the pin, but a fake pin, some of them might have raised edges around the screen printed part. So an example of that would be this one right here. So it's going to be nice and smooth. Now, one of the things that I'm looking at here are the edges that almost looks like there's a border around it. This one, not so much. There are some that you can fully see a border all around it, and that's going to tell you it is a fake pin. This one's really hard to tell. And as I said, you can always examine the back of pins. Let's see if we can find a good example. Okay, let's try this one. Yes, this is perfect example of a fake pin. Look at that. Of course they tried to do a counterfeit of it because it says that it's a limited edition of 800. I'll tell you, I've seen this pin everywhere. This particular one is really lightweight. We collected it because we love the Cars series, but look at that edge there. You see how there is a border all around it? A real pin is not going to have that border. So this is a counterfeit pin. So the real pins are going to have that, let's see, let's go for this one now. Real pins are going to have the official Mickey head pattern. It should be neatly aligned. It should be cut off at the edges right at the end. It should be sharp, clear text for the pin series, the copyright, and the Disney logo. And since 2024, you will also find real pins have this Swarovski crystal Mickey head on the back. And if it doesn't have that and it's a 2024, 2025, or forward, it is not going to be an authentic Disney pin. The fake pins, they'll have the Mickey head pattern. It might be too deep, too light, cut off weirdly. I said that they might have that border. And the text might be blurry, misspelled, or missing entirely. Let's see if I can find another example. Here we go. This one looks great on the back. See how everything looks really clear? On the front, I will say it's really lightweight, and you can see the dips in the enamel. My guess is that this one is a fake pin, even though the back looks really great. The front, not so much. This is from one of our old collections that we purchased. You see how it's shiny there? And it has, I don't know if you can tell, but it has some dipping in the metal. In that enamel, you can see that it has an indent there, and as I'm feeling it, it feels really glossy. It's also very lightweight. So this is actually going to be one of those fake pins, but because it has the Mickey Mouse ears on it, it is tradable. So, there's some ethics regarding this. Do you trade this pin? Yeah, this is definitely not a real pin, but it is technically tradable in the parks. Just, is it ethical to trade that one? So other things that you might be able to look for, and it's all dependent. If you can not read those words, then it's definitely not going to be an authentic pin. This one, you can read them. You can even probably make out the date that it has on there. So it's pretty, it's underneath where it says pin trading. I can't really make it out too well. So yeah, this one is not going to be an authentic Disney pin, but technically you can still put it on the boards. So one of the other things that you can do is you can look for the pin trading logo and the stamps on the back. So just showing you some more examples of the pin trading logo, the stamp on it. You can look online and find what they should look like for each pin. And that can help you. I can tell you this one is real because I bought this one from Disney. This was in my first collection. Also, the ones with the 2 prongs, they are much harder to fake because it's much more expensive. So typically you have good luck with those. But you can also test the post and the back. The post should be centered. It should be sturdy. The Mickey rubber backs that come with it should fit securely over them. And if it's a fake pin, the post might be off center. It might be a rough base. The Mickey backs may feel cheap on them. All right, so here's an example of a hidden Mickey pin. So this is one that I'll tell you, I don't think it's real because I'm looking at that Mickey and it's not crisp. It's a kind of a glob of a Mickey head. Looking at the back, doesn't have the Mickey waffle pattern. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it does not look nice and crisp with the wording. So I would call this not an authentic pin. Even though it's Figment and people love Figment, I would not call it authentic. So other things that you can do to check to see if it's real, you can compare them with online databases, something like pinpicks.com, or you can join Disney pin trading groups and compare real and fake. You can ask some people. But oftentimes those groups are really nice and helpful to be able to identify real versus fake. And then always buy from trusted sources. So you can buy from Disney Parks, Shop Disney, reputable pin traders, eBay, Amazon, not so much, bulk pin sellers, not so much, because those are going to often have scrappers, these fake pins. But one of the places that I love to buy from the most is going to be Go Pin Pro. They have an amazing selection of pins. If you're in the Orlando area, you can go visit them and check out what they have. If you're trying to finish a collection, they probably have exactly what you need. So one of the things that I love are all of the different varieties of these pin folios. So you have something that is small, like this, that you could just stick into a bag.
And they fit perfectly in the purses.
Yes, so easy, nice and small. This is a 5-pack for $15. They call those mini boards. And then they have the mini shows, which are the ones that we were showing you. That's the one that David, Audrey, and I, we carry these in the parks.
Not that one.
No, not that one.
This is going to be the one that I'm going to carry now.
That's going to be her new replacement one that we're going to get for her. Loves the color. Then they have this adorable new purse that, let's go show them that new purse.
Once you close it all up.
Better to close it up.
Yeah. It can go on you like that.
Yeah, so it can be a crossbody.
Or what you can do is you can change this and then attach it over here, and then it's like this.
Or you could make it a belt bag, otherwise known as a fanny pack.
Look, you can make it like this if you tighten it up. You can make it like that.
Yeah.
You can do a lot.
So a lot of good options there. So that one is a super, super cute new purse. Then, of course, they have bigger styles. They have big styles. They have protector sleeves. I'm actually going to pick up some more of these because we need these for our binder.
Wait, there's also this. It's a rainbow.
Yes. There you go.
Perfect.
There we go. Awesome. So yeah, lots of different options, lots of different styles.
You can get these for this purse.
Yeah, this is the purse that we have.
Yep.
Can also be a fanny pack as well.
What are these?
Oh,
They're like princess purses, kind of.
yeah, those are super cute too.
Yeah.
And then
This one's a Lightning McQueen.
I like the primary colors,
Yeah.
but lots of different options as you can see. And then of course they have bigger ones.
This.
I cannot imagine how heavy that would be filled with pins. I love it. And then of course all of the pins that you can purchase. They don't have any trading right now, but lots of pins that you can purchase. David is in love with so many pins. What's a pin that you have just fallen in love with, buddy?
A lot.
A lot, yeah. Hard to say. So anyway, lots of fun stuff. Definitely check it out if you are into pin trading or want something simple. They have a great website as well. That's where we've always ordered our pin folios from, is the website. But if you are in town and you have some time that you're not in the parks, come check out this store. It's amazing. And the last tip is just to smile. You never know when you're going to find a pin that you absolutely love. Sometimes people are going to be hesitant about trading some of the pins that they love, so it's okay if someone says no. It's okay if you say no. If you love something and you just can't figure out a way to trade, ask if you can take a picture so you can maybe find it another way. Maybe you can purchase it on eBay or find it through other pin traders who might be willing to help you out. So don't be afraid to take a picture and go that way. Along with taking a picture, one of the things that we started doing is actually looking on eBay through the way that you can take a picture and use it through eBay to find out the value of these pins, because some of them we had never seen before as we collected them. We didn't know what they were worth. Are they a $5 pin, a $15 pin, or a $50 pin, or higher? And so we could use some of the data through eBay and eBay sales to figure that out. So taking pictures is always good. There are also apps that you can get into and find out the value in your catalog of pins. We have not done that because our pin collection is so vast, but it might be something that you're interested in. Not necessarily for beginners, but it is worth exploring if you really get into it. Disney is so cool. So I just met the coolest couple who we were pin trading. Tim and the kids are riding Guardians of the Galaxy because they have some extra time tonight before the park closes. And Guardians is not my thing. So I told them, please go ride this ride. I'm gonna go back to the resort. I'm gonna pin trade a little bit and I'm gonna put my feet up. Well, I haven't put my feet up. I have been pin trading and I met this wonderful couple, Lucas and Nicole, and we met pin trading. And then we started talking and then I got to see their pins. And I'm okay not getting a really cool pin. I'm okay just with the watching and looking of it. So as we were doing this, he said, do you know the difference between an AP and a PP? And I said, well, and I couldn't quite put my finger on like, what is it? And so he pulls it out and he shows me and I was like, oh, AP, artist proof, I do know. And so he starts talking about that. And I said, wait a second, hold on. I need to record this because it's so good. So here it is. This is going to be the video that you're going to see next. And Lucas, in his amazing voice, by the way, Lucas used to work for Thomas the Tank Engine, and he used to do all of the readings at these Day Out with Thomases. I mean, come on. Could this be cooler? No. Lucas, you're amazing. Nicole, you're amazing. It was an amazing opportunity meeting you. Can you tell? I think they're amazing. And we talked a lot about life, about priorities, about pins, all from a piece of metal. So take a look and enjoy learning about PP and AP pins.
So my name is Lucas. Happy to explain some of the items that are AP and PP pins, which make them extremely exclusive almost similar to the limited editions or the limited release. So let's go ahead and give you an example. Right here, this pin, on the back side, you will see, and I hope this will be able to be seen because it's very small right there.
I think we can get it. Let's see.
There you might want to. Okay, so the AP, the significance of the AP is an artist proof. The artist proof only has 23 releases of these, so it makes it extremely limited edition. So when you have a limited edition, if you really want to do limited edition, look for these APs because there's only 23. And these are what the artists look at. They want proof that everything that they have outlined is going to match what they imagine to fit on the pin. So they release 23 of these that the artist will make a proof of, and if there's any changes, they will do so, and then once the final release comes, it may be different, but it may be exactly the same. The other side of this is a PP. These are even more rare because there's only 3 of these that get released. This is signified by the PP that you see here. The PP means pre-production. So right before they go to production, they will release 3 of these. What this means is what you see here may not be exactly what you see is released out to the public. That makes it even more of a special limited release. So if you ever get an opportunity to see a PP or an AP, please go out of your way to get it if you like it, or if you don't like it, you may want to get it so you could get something that may translate to something that you really enjoy, because these are super limited release. I hope you enjoyed the explanation of these, and I hope you have an enjoyable time pin trading.
So when it comes to being in the parks, here's what the kids and I do. We each have these books that we carry in our bags. The front is usually the pins that we've collected that we don't want to trade away. For me, I, over time, have spelled out Dory. This was an older collection. I don't think that they are all real pins, and I really don't care because it spells out my name. And then Daisy, who is one of my favorites because she has such a fun personality. And this is a from Pinfolio, Go Pin Pro, and it's one of these self-healing rubber backed things, so I don't have to deal with having my Mickey pins pinning and unpinning with the Mickey backs. I can just put them right in here, grab and go. And so I have one side that are my really good pins that I love trading with other people. So these are my guest pin traders. And then these are the ones that I'll put on the boards. But we just carry these with us, and what we have decided as a family is we're all working together. If one of us sees something that will help another family member's collection, we'll trade for it. We really don't get picky when it comes to that. We all work together. Audrey has a board in her room. David has a board in his room that are their favorite pins. But what's really sweet is that Audrey will see something for David, and David may not notice it, and she'll go ahead and trade for it. Or David will do the same thing. He might see a Tinkerbell or a Rapunzel, and he might trade for it because he knows that's something that she's really looking for her pins. And again, we have pictures that we'll carry with us in the park on my phone of our updated pin boards. And that way we know what's at home, what we have already, so we're not getting duplicates of it. So that's how we trade in the park, just something really simple like this. There are also smaller boards that you can get that you might carry around, but since we're doing longer days in the park, we like having a few more options. And there are some times that I will completely trade all of the pins in here, and my front's gonna be completely packed, and we have wild trading days, and then we have days that are a little bit more like a desert where there's not a lot of great pins that we've traded, and that's okay. That's the fun of pin trading. What we also love doing is just talking to guests and seeing their pins. We've gotten to the point now, I guess 3 years into pin trading, that we don't have to have all of the pins. Sometimes it's really fun just to look and appreciate what's there for the artisticness of it without having it ourselves. When we travel down to Orlando, we always bring not only our pin books from Pinfolio, but we bring our master collection as well. Now, these are not the ones that we keep. The ones that we keep are in a different display that we keep in our house, and we take pictures of those before each visit so that we remember here's what we have. But we have this book, just a nice 5-star notebook. You can actually buy specific Pinfolio books, but we just bought this big, huge binder. But it has these dividers in it. We got these from Pinfolio, and they're like self-healing mat sort of things, and then just little divider tabs. But we have them divided up for different categories. So as we're making our pin books for the parks, each night we can go in there. So we just have this. These are some of our burner pins that we really don't care about. Let me just show you some more of what we have here. So then some of the other ones, what we have done is, because we have found as we were collecting, we were for a while collecting Figment pins, and then we decided to trade them. So this is where all of our Figment pins were, our Haunted Mansion pins, Country Bears, some Toy Story ones. These were really cool that we were trading. These ones have 2 prongs, a lot of weight to it. Also really hard to fake, and here's why. If you look, it's 2 pieces that have been put together. That's really hard for these companies who want to fake pins. It's really hard for them to do that and to make it make sense financially. So this is going to be a real pin. And you can see all the details on the back very, very easily. This is also a limited release pin. We were really excited when we came across these ones, and given that we were starting our Marvel love, it was really fun to collect those 3. That was all in one trip. So if you see that limited release, it's definitely worth checking out and seeing what the value of it is. You might still be willing to trade it like we are, or you might not. This is another one that has that piece on the top, extra piece, and so we know that that's going to be authentic there. You can again see all of the different ones. This was one of our first collections, and just because it was one of our first doesn't mean that we had to keep it. We just said it's worth trading it away. This one also was a really fun collection as we were going through the parks, but decided we weren't ready to keep it. Same with our Star Wars. So we have fun finding Star Wars pins and then trading them away. The first collection that we completely finished was the nesting doll collection. And then once we finished it, we decided, all right, it's time to trade them away. And that's what we have been doing. We have them in a special place that we keep. When we decide to trade them, we don't put them on the boards. These are ones that we would trade with people because they are trying to complete their collections, and we like being able to help them in that way. So again, you can just see some of the collections that we have had and decided, okay, it's time to trade them. The Munchlings is a rather new one that we've been working on, and that was, most of those were from one trip, and they just kept going on boards, and we said, okay, let's just see what we can find. And we don't want them for ourselves, but we love trading with people, and this is one that we can find some really great ones to trade, help someone complete their collection, and we get to do the same for us. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial on pin trading. This is absolutely not everything you need to know about pin trading. It's just some nuts and bolts and pin backs. I was trying to make a joke. It didn't work. I'm sorry. Ignore that I said it. But This is just a quick little tutorial on pin trading. Now, definitely go and check out our video all on GoPin Pro's Pin HQ, their headquarters. I know that it's in their old location, but you get to see all that they have to offer. This is an amazing company founded by kids, and as they've grown, their business has grown as well. So they're no longer kids, they're now adults. But wow, what a cool empire they have. We have gotten tools from them, we've gotten books from them, we've gotten pins from them. They are really cool, highly support them. Not sponsored by them, I just love what they've done and love how they are bringing together the pin community in a really positive, upbeat way. So I love supporting them. So go check out that video and have fun pin trading. If you have questions about pin trading, you want to get started, put it in the comments and let's talk about it. It's really easy to get overwhelmed, and it shouldn't be. If you don't know exactly if you have good stuff, don't trade it. Easy as that. But the point is to have fun with it. It should be something that adds to your Disney experience and doesn't take away from it. So with that, go pin hunting and have fun. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to tell your friends. Bye.